Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for?
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 3, titled The Covert reaction video. Of course, it should go without saying that yes, there are spoilers ahead. Boy oh boy, what a different, refreshing type of episode to The Mandalorian. Of course, opening directly from where we left off the previous episode there, of where we have Bo-Katan, Grogu, and Din in the mines of Mandalore after they had both redeemed themselves, as we actually later learn towards the end of the episode, especially with Bo-Katan there, as well as Din Djarin brings her to his old creed, where the armorers and Paz Vizsla and everybody else is, and that is kind of where she's going to be hanging out there ever since the Empire, or remnants of the Empire, had bombed her castle home, after they had both, of course, were making their way back from Mandalore. I'd like to quickly also mention that I will have a separate video here on the channel later in the day about a breakdown video with different things that you might have missed throughout the episode there as well, different Easter eggs. This is just kind of like a debriefing video, really, if you are unfamiliar with it. Aside from Din Djarin and Bo-Katan and them and everything like that, leaving Mandalore, the whole scene with the TIE interceptors was awesome. A dogfight there. Who doesn't love that in Star Wars? They've been really treating us well with that when it comes to those like space fights and dogfights with different ships. I think it's been really fun. We saw that in the first episode. We're seeing it once again here. And as a LEGO fan, a very big LEGO fan, I have a LEGO channel linked in the description down below. We're getting a LEGO Star Wars set that's based off of that scene with the Mandalorian starfighter Bo-Katan ship and the TIE interceptor set there as well, kind of as one big set. So I'm really looking forward to that. To see that scene actually happen was really cool, really fun. The main focus, though, however, about this episode was Dr. Pershing. Now, in the recap of the episode, before the episode actually plays, it kind of shows us some, introductions, some bits and pieces of these characters, Dr. Pershing and this other lady that had worked with Moff Gideon. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I can't think of her name for the life of me. Of course, let me know down in the comments down below, but this lady and Dr. Pershing, of course, had worked together on Moff Gideon's ship together, so two kind of rather smaller and insignificant characters, honestly, at that were honestly much smaller role. Of course, as a Star Wars fan, I have a very big one at that there, and making theories about this and just that type of thing. I think there was a theory that had floated around that, of course, Dr. Pershing would be such a much rather larger character going forward in the Mandalorian, in the Mandoverse here, especially with, his techniques and what he's able to do with cloning and everything like that, how that would serve a higher purpose of the Emperor and everything like that. So to see the episode, of course, introduced with Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians, Din Djarin, those two, of course, and then kind of branch off to Coruscant. We had so much Coruscant in this episode, and that was amazing. It reminded me so much of the prequels. Like, it brought me right back, and it was so cool. It was so heartwarming. It reminded me of the first time that I had watched, Revenge of the Sith, when they're in the speaker house, and then there's Dr. Pershing, speaking to all these people. It had reminded me of the Republic Senate and from the prequels, and it was just so cool. I loved that. I'm even pretty sure towards like the midway of this episode, when Dr. Pershing makes that decision to venture off of where he's prohibited off into the destructed Star Destroyers to grab lab equipment so he can continue on his studies for whatever reasons, after this lady had kind of like talked him into it pretty much and set him up, as we later learned is like the big twist, I think, towards this episode. Me, quite personally, I didn't expect that. I did not see that coming, so that was very interesting. She's definitely been building her ranks, is essentially what we're seeing here. However, as I have, of course, had mentioned there, just this whole episode being centered around Dr. Pershing and this other lady, it feels like these are, much more smaller, insignificant characters from the Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2, and didn't really play all that much of a role. To see them play like such a larger role now, and even have like a whole episode dedicated to these characters, was honestly really cool. Also, before I forget, I'd like to quickly also point out that yes, the rumors were true. We cover them here first on the channel, so if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and join us here today. That's exactly what we like to do, cover Star Wars news, leaks, and rumors. rumors. The rumors had indicated that this year would be the longest yet episode of The Mandalorian, and that it was, clocking at 58 minutes long. This stands as the longest episode of any Mandalorian episode from Season 1, Season 2, and now Season 3. Which is a cool, neat little fun fact, I think, to kind of just throw out there. Now, kind of also seeing that this lady that had been tricking Dr. Pershing here, essentially, has really built her way up these ranks here and has earned the trust of the New Republic. I think that she still does have those intentions to want to break Moff Gideon out of the New Republic jail in some form or another. I also still heavily believe that Dr. Pershing is going to be important, especially moving forward. I think that he's going to be recaptured essentially by Moff Gideon and the other Imperial remnants here pretty much, and be forced to continue his work of cloning that he doesn't necessarily want to do, although this lady had like talked him into like, hey, you do want to clone, like this is your thing, you like to do it, let's go steal some stuff from this old Star Destroyer, of course, which got him in trouble, which was just a whole setup and everything like that. That was her moving her way up even further, and then putting Dr. Pershing into a position of where he's kind of more confined. Now, talking about towards the end of the episode, aside from Dr. Pershing and everything that kind of went on with his character, I feel like a majority of this episode was focused on humanizing this character and overall other Star Wars characters. I think even at that, just like the Star Wars galaxy as a whole, like these are just normal people living their lives just like you and I, essentially out there. This here was something that was rather interesting to see, as I had mentioned, a breath of fresh air in a way that takes a step back from our normal usual characters and brings in these other characters that are going to be, of course, bound to play a more prominent role moving forward. Now, aside from all that, with Dr. Pershing and everything like that, as I had mentioned, towards the end of the episode, we got a little bit more than I actually anticipated and had expected, and I'm honestly really glad about it. I had mentioned it a little bit here towards the beginning of this video here, of where we see Din bring Bo-Katan back to his covert of Mandalorians, his creed that isn't the Night Owls. That's the creed that, Bo-Katankryze is a part of, or House Kryze, essentially, as she actually says in the episode. However, of course, as we had seen at the beginning of this episode, with her home being destroyed by these Imperial remnants, she doesn't really have anywhere else to go, so Din brings her to his covert to kind of lay low and chill out, essentially. He's trying to, I think, unite. That's like his inner leader, in a way, I think, coming out here, especially as he is the holder of the Darksaber, although he doesn't really show much leadership often, so maybe that's just kind of like a coincidence type of thing. I'm trying to help you out type of thing. You just saved my life on multiple occasions now in the past like 2 episodes, so let me help you out by bringing you somewhere safe that you're going to be accepted by. And she's even accepted into their clan because she had also bathed in those living waters, unintentionally, of course, to rescue Din Djarin. But then I also think that the question poses, as a fan theory out there to throw out there, that maybe Din tried to like drown himself on purpose to make Bo-Katan like redeem herself. I think that would be honestly kind of funny. Anyway, of course, what an amazing episode. As I had mentioned, we'll have a breakdown / Easter eggs, things that you might have missed, video out here on the channel a little bit later in the day. So hit that subscribe button and join us here today so you guys don't miss that video. We also cover and talk about all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel, as I had mentioned. So if you guys are into any of that, join us here on the channel today. I am dying to know your initial reaction, your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below to this episode. Something different, a breath of fresh air, as I had mentioned. I would love to hear what you guys all think in the comments down below. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.